larger piece of paper here, and I'm going to fold it in half, and then cut. And putting the other paper aside, this paper is going to be for my background. So I'm going to take my oil pastel and I'm going to draw a horizon line. This is where the land meets the sky. And now I'll add in a couple rolling mountains as a background. Down here is going to be painted using my watercolors and a brown color. And up here, I'm going to do a gradation of color. So I'm going to start with a light color and go into darker colors. I'm going to start with my yellow. Now, before I begin watercolor painting, I always activate my watercolor. So I use a spray bottle, or you can use whatever you have on hand. And add a little spritz in to your watercolors, and then go ahead and paint. Now, when I paint these, I'm going to make the bands of color that I'm painting across wider than I want them to be, because I want to overlap. So the next color is the orange, and going right over the yellow. Bringing this down a little bit. Where those two colors meet, I'm just going to wiggle my paintbrush. And you can even encourage blending if you dip your paintbrush in water and wiggle it right over that line so it becomes less pronounced. Let me go back over with my horizontal brush strokes. Now I'm on to the red. To me, red is like a showstopper color in this painting because it's going to contrast with the green of the cactus really nicely. Right up to that line. And my brush a little bit wet, wiggling across the line and then going horizontal. Need to blend the colors a little bit. Now onto some really pretty magenta. Same thing, painting it across, wiggling it where the two colors meet, adding a little more water, bringing it across. And then adding the purple. Wiggling it across. Looks like I accidentally dipped in blue, but that's okay. Wiggling across to mix them a little bit more. Going right into those hills. Like, don't be afraid to paint into there. Now I'm going to paint in the desert sand. You can mix a color for this or use something that you already have. So I've got one that's pretty good. So painting all the way across. up here, going to bring that brown up to where my purplish is, and they can even have a little party there. You can blend them together. I like to add a tiny bit of blue back there just to show that these are further in space. And a little darker color. Bringing that color through. Just adding some little shadows on my mountain. And as it dries, for the cactus piece of paper, I'm going to start off with yellow with a touch of gross purple. Yellow, and then probably going to go clean my water. And I'm going to be layering lots of colors, so it doesn't really matter how much you add. It just depends on how yellow you might like it. The other colors we're going to add are different shades of green. So I'm back with some clean water, and I just made my palette messy again. Clean water and adding in more yellow. After the yellow, I'm going to go with some yellow green. Just kind of adding some squiggles here and there. So I'm going to continue to paint right over the first layer of colors. Adding lots of water and stirring it up. You might want to leave some yellow. You may not. It's up to you. This would be considered a painted paper. So we're making a paper that we're going to use to make the cactus. One thing I've learned with painted papers is you want to go all the way to the edge so you don't have wasted white paper at the sides. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm going to go and add in some green now. This is a darker green, filling in the white spaces. If you had some brown that you don't like, you can paint over that at this time. Just making sure I got all the white spots. I particularly like this brownish color, so I'm going to mix it with the green. And so you can see you have some spots that show more than others. And just at this point, we're going to let this dry. You can use a hairdryer to dry your work a little quicker if you want. So here's the painted paper all dry, and now I'm going to flip it over to draw some of my cactus shapes in. So you can use whatever you have on hand. I have a green crayon here. I'm just going to make some shapes. So that would be the biggest one. Smaller. Smaller. Just going to fill in this space with some different shapes. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut those out. And these will be the bits of the cactus. So I just made these really big smile lines if you want to look at like that, or it could be a rainbow line. There's a cactus, and now I'm going to cut out all these pieces. If this is going too fast, you can just hit pause and catch up, and I'll be right here when you get back. No worries. Everyone works at their own pace. Get my last one here. You don't have to use all these pieces, but you can if you want to. So the next part is to clean up my space, and I'm going to get that background paper that I finished creating. I'm going to move some of this other stuff out of the way. And I'm going to line up my cactus pieces. So I'll flip these over. You can see they really came out quite beautifully. So I'm going to make the cactus paper, painted paper glued down using a glue stick. So I'm going to go around in the center. And I'm going to press everywhere but the tippy top because I'm going to be overlapping. This one, I'm going to make it curve a little bit. Adding on the other side. And then I press down that top piece, leave that up a little bit. And it's okay if it hangs off the page. Now, if you don't like hanging off the page, then you are the boss of that. You can move it around. This one, the shape is a little weird. I'm going to go out that way. And then up. I'm sticking the first piece on top of the next piece, so they're stacked like that. So you won't really see the lines of the bottom of the paper. Oh, one piece that just flew away. Let me go like over there with that. So you can make yours however you would like. Mine is kind of all over the place. If you need to sneak in a little more glue, you can. And now I get to add in some fun details. So my cactus is going to have a face. You can choose whatever color you'd like. I'm going to go with a dark brown and going to choose the type of face I want to add. So for the face, I'm going to first make a smile line and then add in some little dots for the eyes. And I'm going to make little lines out, sort of like happy lines for the eyelashes. You can have the tongue sticking out. You could do whatever you'd like. So now I'm going to add in doing a little sort of like cross, 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 cross. I'm adding in where the spikes would come out. Here and there. And you could be done after this. This could be the end of the road for you. Or you could choose to add in some flowers. For the flowers, you'll just need another piece of scrap paper or paper and your oil pastels. So this is what it looks like. It's another one that I did. this is what it looks like when you add in those flowers. So it's kind of cool looking. This time I'm going to go in and add my flowers. You can use the oil pastels, like I said, or you could use something else. So if you have another medium you prefer, you can go ahead and grab that. So I'm just going to get the other side of this paper. And to make these, I'm going to start with yellow in the center. Let's make 3 of them this time. And then I'm going to go around with this color that is in a different language. So I can't, oh, rose red. There we go. Going around with rose red. Some pink. Red. I want to lighten this up a little bit. So I think this is peach or pink. It's something, that's for sure. And do a darker color on the outside. Okay. Now the fun thing with oil pastels is you can blend them. You could use tissue or your finger. I just use my finger. So you're going to start in the center and pull out. Go all the way around. Now we're going to cut those out. This is the part that you don't have to do. It's just kind of an extra something to make it uniquely yours, but again, doesn't have to be done. I'm going to make my flowers pop out a little bit, but if you want to glue yours flat, you can do that too. Just trimming around. And I'm going to do some cutting to make this more of a flower shape. So I'm going to go in and just do some cuts. Little curved V cuts. Turning the paper as I cut. And there we go. Curve that a little bit. So here's my first one. Here's the next one. Now, if you want to save time when you're cutting, you can do the folding over technique. So you can fold it over and just cut a curve going into the center, which is a heart, going to be a heart shape, and curve going out. Pop it up, and then you have a symmetrical flower with less cutting involved. So I'll do that kind again, just in case you want to try. These are glued together. Okay. Cool. Put that on up here. And I'm going to fold and fold. I'm going to add the curve shape. I can just draw it for you. So I'm doing like this. A curve shape that goes in. And then around. It goes to the outside. And then I open it up. The opening up is a little tough if you have really gunky oil pastels. So there. See, I think I'm going to, oh, that looks good. All right. So I'm going to add that one right in there. You can use a glue stick or sticky glue if you want, wet glue. I'm going to, I bent it a little bit and just adding glue to the center and pushing it down. That way it will pop up a little bit. Glue to the center, pushing it down. Okay, so stay. Glue to the center and pushing it down. And that is all set. So now I have my cactus. You can continue adding details or just leave it the way it is.